Alrighty, so today you guys are going to get a bonus video. I cleaned my hair up a little bit in preparation for this one, but I've been thinking about this topic for a long time, and I just am like, screw it, why not make a video? Basically, this video is going to be a comparison of the two movie passes that I'm most aware of, that being the AMC Stubs A-List and the Regal Unlimited subscription. And I personally have no experience with any other movie pass, even if they do exist, so I'm not going to speak on any of that. And me personally, I'm not going to bring up any movie theaters outside of AMC and Regal, because even though I now live in an area where there's a lot of Cinemarks and other things like that, I personally have never lived in an area that had a lot of that stuff. Only ever had Carmike or Regal or AMC. But I do believe the Carmike that I went to used to be a Cinemark, and I only realized that after I went to a Cinemark later on. But my goal in this video is to educate consumers who might want to get a movie pass, because they're actually not that expensive when you think about it, who might want to get a movie pass, who doesn't know which one to get. And I just want to say, first off, between AMC and Regal, between the AMC Stubs A-List and Regal Unlimited, the very first thing you need to consider is what movie theaters you have in your area and what do they normally show. What's their size? Do they normally show like a bunch of movies? Do they normally show just the most popular 2 movies, 3 movies, 4 movies? You know, like what are they showing week to week to week? And how long do movies stay there and all that? Because while both of these programs will get you 3 free movies a week, you probably won't be able to maximize using all of those movies. And so one, even if a movie comes out that you like, it needs to be at your theater, and it needs to be something that you'll have the time to actually go see. Because at any given time, there might be like, I mean, right now it's been kind of rough, but there might be like 2, 3, maybe even 4 movies I would be willing to see, and they just don't stay in theaters long enough. Like there was this movie Slingshot that looked kind of interesting with Casey Affleck and Lawrence Fishburne, and that one just left the theaters too quick for me to be able to find a time I could go see it, right? So just like consider that, right? Because when I originally was on AMC Stubs A-List, and I lived in, well, actually, I didn't get it when I was in Indianapolis, but we were going to a lot of AMCs in Indianapolis because they're very popular out there. And so when I moved here, I'm trying not to dox myself. When I moved here, I got the A-List. And then for a while, I was kind of happy because I hadn't seen movies in a long time. But then I realized that the AMC in my area, and I want to say in my area because the one in my hometown, even though it's not the place I would prefer to go to, that one always has a ton of movies, and it always has like foreign language movies and like all sorts of movies you could go see. Whereas my AMC in town here right now, that's convenient for me to go to. There's actually 2 of them that are pretty much equidistant, but just in different spots. They always have the most popular movies, so you're never going to like not be able to see the new Scorsese flick or something like that. But a lot of the movies that somebody that's in the movies might want to go see, they either only have it at one theater or for a short period of time, or they just don't have it at all, right? And then in my area, personally, my Regal is a part of this big complex where they have all these shopping centers and stuff. So they built it out to be like a giant thing. And because of that, I think, you know, they've got so many theaters. They probably get a lot of business there. And so as a result, they're able to stock a lot more movies, and they keep them there longer, and they'll even bring them back. And the, you know, well, I guess I'm not going to get into that yet, but mainly look up which theater has the most movies in your area on a consistent basis, and that is going to be the place that you want to get your membership to. Above anything else I'm about to talk about, that's going to be the place that you want to get your membership from, okay? Because that will make the biggest difference from you, even if all the other things are equal or worse or whatever. Like, you need to be able to go see the movies you want to see. Otherwise, you will never use your 3 movies. And like, why you get the subscription if you only see it? You literally have to see 2 movies a month for it to be worth it for you to have the subscription, and it'll be worth it by a lot in that aspect. Like, you basically get your second movie 50% off, if not more. So I think it's a lot more than that. Might be like almost free when you think about it. But so do that. Go with the one that has the most movies in your area. But let's say you live somewhere where you have a lot of choice and you do consider these other movie theaters as well, and all of them stock a lot of movies, or they all stock a similar amount of movies. Like in Fort Wayne, where I'm from, I would say that, it's pretty common that the Regal that I would go to out by Coldwater and the AMC out by Jefferson Point is going to stock, they both have a bunch of movies. Probably the AMC actually more than the Regal in Fort Wayne. But that Regal's all the way out in Jefferson Point, so who wants to go do that, right? But that being said, okay, what are the major differences between the Regal Unlimited and the AMC Stubs A-List from the perspective of somebody that has had them both? And so this is all going to be completely anecdotal. And if I'm missing out on a benefit because I'm too stupid to know it exists or something like that, and somebody be in the comments, yeah, but you don't know that the Regal thing, they do that, or the AMC, they do that. Listen, if I have been unable to figure out the reward, it's not my fault. So they're going to get graded based on my complete anecdotal experience, and you guys are just going to have to be okay with that, okay? Don't make fun of my weird fingers, okay? I didn't choose them. Now, let's start with one thing. For me, I personally choose Regal right now because the movie selection in my area is better at Regal, okay? So let's get that out of the way. So everybody knows what I have right now, but I've had them both. And so let's consider another thing here, concessions, okay? When you go to the movies, you're probably gonna want to get concessions, and maybe if you go to the movies a lot, you want to spend less money on concessions in general, okay? I would say that going to both places, they hit you over the head with the price on both the ticket and by ticket, I mean if you want to go with somebody else. On the ticket and the concessions pretty hard. They hit you with both now. They used to say, oh, well, the ticket is they honestly lose money on the ticket, which is just like, okay, sure. But that's because that brings you in to buy this really expensive popcorn, stuff like that, just like an amusement park or whatever. It's all expensive now at both places, so don't even consider that. But what you could consider is that on certain nights, there are deals for both. And I think it's actually Tuesday for both. And so if you get this pass, you're probably going to end up going to the movies by yourself, which is not that weird. But if you do, going on the deal night is smartest, and it's most likely on Tuesday. And there you can get a decent like $5 deal for a small bag of popcorn and a drink. And at AMC, I would say they actually kind of take the cake with this one, because I think Regal's deal is not necessarily as good, because at AMC you could cheese it and get like an icy as your drink, because you fill up the icy yourself. You know what I mean? So they didn't have the chance to upcharge you, because it's like, oh, let me take my drink and go fill it up for the $5, right? So, and no employee is going to like whatever. So there's one. Concessions, they're about equal. They got the same snacks. They got the same prices. It's all expensive. Okay. 2, the employees. I would say for the most part, the employees are about equal, because I've had great experiences at AMC's with employees. I've had what I would just say is like not bad experiences, but experiences where the employees are just like, ugh, I hate to be here. And I've worked retail, I've worked service. It's just annoying when you guys act that way. And I've been that guy before. So I know it's annoying to work the job, but like, okay. But the fact of the matter is, you're going to get that at both places. Me personally, I like the Regal staff better, but that's because they work in the big megaplex. They probably make $1 or $2 more, and they probably have more employees, so it's like more fun to work there. Okay, it's easier for them to have a good time, and so it's probably why they're a little bit more enthusiastic. But I've had I don't want to say bad, but I've had neutral experiences with them too. Okay, so staff, they're about equal. Okay, price wise, I know that people are going to say, yeah, well, if you want to go to all the AMCs, it's like $26 instead of 22. Technically, Regal's price is cheaper. But I'm pretty sure if you only intend to go to the movie theater that you live by, or one that's in like most states, you don't have to pay an extra fee for AMC. Okay. I did for a little bit because when I was traveling a lot, consulting or, working, I travel now every now and then for my job now, but just like because of that, I would sometimes go try to sneak in a movie. And so that's a thing. I would pay for that so I could get access to everything. But with Regal, you don't have to do that to my knowledge, unless you live in some very weird situation. You don't really have to pay an upcharge. So it's $22. Regal is cheaper. Okay. Now, here's where we get into the interesting part. Okay. Imagining that movies are equal, concessions are equal, employees are equal, and the Regal's cheaper, all of us would say, okay, the Regal. And, by the way, the most important thing I feel like is the rewards, because we're joining this program, you're paying a subscription, you're going there, you're spending a bunch of money on a consistent basis to buy these concessions and all that. Like, I better be getting some reward points for this. Otherwise, I'm going to start showing up with my own stuff. I'm not going to be spending money. And I'm going to slowly get annoyed with the process of going to the movies this way, because I'd rather just go to the movies less often and get the full experience than become dissatisfied with going to the movies, right? Because I really like going, The rewards are so much better with Regal than with AMC. The way AMC's system works is that I think it's like every 5,000 points you get $5 off. And it's honestly, it's not so difficult to get 5,000, but it doesn't happen. Like, you probably have to spend like $50 to get $5. And to an extent, that's like a pretty good deal, but not when Regal is just handing out points like they are worth nothing and then giving you like so much in return. So with the Regal, they give you a bunch of points. If you go without your thing and you save your receipt, you can put in your receipt and get the points later, which is hella convenient. Do not think you can do that with AMC. If you go, so let's imagine you go and somebody you're with, like for example, sometimes Mary Elizabeth will treat me to the concessions because she's nice to me like that. I can use the receipt to get the points, and then the points just don't get you some crappy like $5 coupon that you'll use it, but it's not even going to buy your whole concession trip like at all, right? With Regal, maybe one restriction that kind of sucks is that every now and then they have a movie that is so new and popular that you can't go on unlimited like an opening weekend. And personally, I have not seen that happen to me yet, okay? Like, we were able to go see Dune in IMAX just for a small upcharge. So, I personally have not seen it happen. But you can buy movie tickets, straight up free movie ticket for a very reasonable amount of points. I could buy like 2 right now, and I've only maybe gone to like 6 movies on this thing so far. You can also buy upgrades, like drink and popcorn upgrades. So you could go in there and buy like the cheapest popcorn combo possible and upgrade to the extra large with your points very easily. And they're very it's a very reasonable amount of points. Like you at least anecdotally, I barely even try. I forget to use the receipt thing all the time, and I still have enough points to buy a bunch of stuff, right? And then on top of that, They even have like a reward center where you can get posters to movies or like little trinkets and things like that. Personally, I've never been interested in anything that they have there yet. But if I was, I would have loved the opportunity to get a poster or something, you know? So in that way, they kind of, they're better for sure. So the rewards are better. So if everything's equal for you, it's got to be Regal, I feel like. Now, if you're going to sit here and be like, yeah, but Regal has all Pepsi stuff and I like Coke or, whatever. It's just like weirdo behavior, I think, personally, because things are not that different. And most of us don't even get like Coke or Pepsi anyway. We might get like I remember when I would go to the movies all the time, I would get Mr. Pibb. And I'd be like, damn, I wish they had Dr. Pepper. You know what I mean? Now I get an icy like every time, so it doesn't really matter to me. I'll have a Coke icy or a Pepsi icy. But regardless, at the end of the day, when you add it all up, it seems like Regal is the one that's really trying to make things happen. And AMC is kind of just doing this because this is an opportunity for them to make some recurring revenue, right? And maybe Regal saw that AMC was doing it successfully and they implemented a better system using the feedback that they were hearing from people for AMC. I don't know. But AMC, I feel like they kind of got to step it up because they're trying to get people to get credit cards. They're trying to get people to do the Stubs A list as like a normal thing. And like you don't get rewarded for it. Like you really don't. Like I looked into it hard because when I was going to the movies like 2-3 times a week, I was like, dude, let me get this credit card and put my concessions on the credit card. And then I'll make extra points and see if that's like a whole engine where I can just get a bunch of points and save them up. And then anytime I go to the movies with other people, I'll treat them to a bunch of stuff. Cause that's just like what I would like to use. That's how I do things. Right. And, no, it's not worth it. Like literally, I couldn't get $5 coupons fast enough to make me excited about it. Okay. So in that way, like for the money, if you have the availability to get a Regal Unlimited, you should go with Regal. If you only live in an area where like there's AMCs and all the Regals suck or there's no Regals or whatever, then go with AMC and almost everything will be the same. It's just the rewards kind of suck. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, is that really that big a deal? Not really. But if you're going to totally go balls deep into this sort of thing, you're going to want to make sure you get your money's worth. So anyway, that's my opinion. I think Regal's better. I like Regal. Regal will never see this video, but if they do and they want to sponsor me to see more movies, I would absolutely jump on the Regal bandwagon because I do not support their position on the war in Palestine, but I am a fan of Pepsi. So I'm a fan of Regal. I'm very aligned with these brands. So if you want to, pull me into the fold, we can do that. Assuming that's never going to happen, just do the Regal, guys. It seems to be more worth it if you can do the AMC. And that's it, that's my experience. If you're going to go ahead and get the movie pass, do it that way. So anyway, that's the end of the video. Bonus video for today. Everybody have a great weekend, great rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.